Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lorehammer, hosted by Hydra Thoughts. Today, in this episode, we're going to dive into the shadowy side of Warhammer 40k and explore the lore behind the cryptids, not as they are in the codex, but as the Imperium sees them. This is going to be really fun and exciting. Today, I'm joined by Gerald, of course.
Hello. Pleasure.
And our kind and gracious lore master, Mark.
Hey, yeah, I'm hyped for this episode. You know, you have your own little cryptid channel that I've listened to, and it's always fun. So I thought, you know what? Let's smash these two channels together for a hot minute, see what kind of 40k cryptids we can come up with.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go over the legendary Old One-Eye, the terrifying Tyranid monster that's been killed more times than had been counted, but it keeps coming back for some reason. The Void Dragon of Mars, which sounds amazing. A god beneath the red planet whose existence is officially denied, even as an entire civilization seems to orbit its sleeping influence. And right, it's like, so everybody's dad when they came home from work. And the Beast of Armageddon, an orc horror so vast and so impossible that slaying it never actually ended the war it represented. This isn't about the stats or the loadouts. This is going to be why these entities cross the line from enemy into myth, and how suspension of survivor testimony can turn the monsters into legends. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, when I did a quick Google search of okay, what does the word cryptid mean? I could rattle off my definition, but for those that want to know the actual definition of cryptid, I'll pull it up again.
Webster's dictionary defines a cryptid as
AI overview defines this as an animal or being whose existence is rumored or believed but remains unproven by science. So when we're talking about 40k cryptids, man, that leaves a lot of things. We got a lot of one-off lines and paragraphs, so just little snippets of information about all types of creatures or xenos in 40k. But I kind of came up with what would actually be a true kind of cryptid in our kind of thinking. But we'll get to it when we kind of get to it. Let's just do some quick housekeeping first. Come join the Discord. If you have your own cryptids that you think you want to share, or if you don't think these three that we've selected are good enough, come join the Discord. You can vouch your opinion there or whatever you're into. Post pictures of your cryptids. Some of these do have models, so come hang out on the Discord.
Or better yet, you can just make up your own cryptid. And if you think this show is worth watching, which it is, come join the Imperial Tithe and join us on Patreon. You get ad-free versions on Spotify for only $2.50 per month. And if you want to see our faces and join us in the YouTube live chats, then that's $5 a month. So pretty good bargain if I do say so.
Absolutely. And the other benefit of joining the live stream and being part of the chat is you might actually get a chance to call in and be a guest on the show. So you yourself can become a mythical cryptid in the Lorehammer lore by showing up once and never being heard from again. So
yeah, I like that. That's a good vibe. Yeah. All right. Well, this episode, as we mentioned, we got three kind of cryptids to go through. We got Old One-Eye, the Beast of Armageddon, and the Void Dragon of Mars. I feel like Old One-Eye is my gold standard of cryptid. You're not going to find a better one in 40k. The other two, they're pretty good, but I think you could probably find better if you really search, but that's what I went with.
I just had a thought just now. So we're looking at cryptids from the Imperial standpoint. Are the Grey Knights cryptids from the Chaos standpoint?
Yeah, this secretive unknown chapter.
Like some silver space marines that just teleport and kill everything and leave. That sounds made up to me.
Purge says cryptids. Does that mean that this is a dog man, aka Space Wolves episode? Yeah, that's another good cryptid. If you find Layman Russ howling in the warp, that's a great cryptid. Or even, Corvus Corax tickling you with a feather in the warp. That's another great cryptid for sure.
Have you seen the art of Corax's demon warped harassing Lorgar for 10,000 years? It's so cool. He's got his face is elongated into a beak now, and he's got talons and claws and feathers everywhere. It's so cool.
Fucking tight. Yeah, that's the fun thing about some of those loyalist Primarchs when they go in the warp. Like, they still get affected. They still might be noble and, like, good, but man, they get twisted.
I'm not gonna lie. If Corax came back warped like that, I wouldn't be mad about it. I'd be pretty happy, actually.
Yeah, me too. Same with
when they inevitably bring back Corax, I actively want him to be his demon bird form. So
yeah,
just a little
absolutely.
Bird. Give me a little bird.
Yeah. And Layman Russ has to be his demon wolf form. Like, these are non-negotiables, GW.
True. True.
So I got this little paragraph. Let's kind of read that. What is a cryptid off? And then maybe we'll have some more questions from listeners, and I'll expand a little bit more too.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started. So in Warhammer 40K, a cryptid isn't a strange or poorly documented creature like we think of them today. And that applies to almost everything built in a galaxy built on the imperial truth. I mean, on censorship and dogma, and having millions of burning frontiers. Half-truths, contradictory reports, and one-off horrors are the norm in a setting where records are lost, altered, or declared heretical by default. A true 40K cryptid goes further. It's something that persists beyond explanation, named by survivors rather than by scholars, repeatedly destroyed yet never truly gone, and remembered more as a warning than as a specimen. These entities exist in space between fact and myth, where even confirmation doesn't bring clarity, and where the Imperium's attempts to catalog, suppress, or deny only strengthen the legend. It is a universe full of mysteries. A cryptid is the rare horror that stops being just an unknown and becomes unknowable.
Yeah, there's this like thing GW likes to do where they intentionally write some things to be mysterious, and those are peak cryptid areas where, you know, it's that they want it to be unknowable. There is no answer. We're never going to find a good answer. Well, there are other things where it's like, okay, well, Vespid are pretty cool. Yes, we know they are on their piss planet and stuff. And yes, I do want to have more information so they're not fully a cryptid, you know, like it's more just like GW hasn't gotten to writing the information down. But like we could scientifically study a Vespid, you know, if we were in that universe. Where scientifically studying, you know, that gold standard of Old One Eye, a little harder to do.
Yeah, it's like the difference between got the Wendigo back there. It's like people think Wendigo's real, but we've never seen one, but we've seen weird mutated zombie deer that people think are Wendigos. We could study one of them, and it's clearly a deer with a parasite, but we can't study that one because we haven't caught one yet.
Exactly. And I think that's a good thing too, like or good kind of observation is these are kind of eyewitness testimonies, you know. That's another good kind of cryptid piece where, yeah, we don't have the corpse, we just got these little snippets of testimony, and oftentimes they're from people who are so traumatized by it that they're like gibbering little messes themselves. So very reliable witnesses.
100%. One of the things I do talk about when I'm looking at cryptid things on my channel is I will talk about, hey, here's what the story is, and here's why I think they're lying, and I'll just debunk all the stuff they say, because some of it is just so out of pocket and wrong that it's like, I know you didn't see anything like this. No, shut up, you're a liar.
Yeah, there's some people out there that you know, you tell them you owned a frog when you were little, and they're like, oh yeah, well I owned a fucking crocodile, and they always have to run up you, and sometimes that's what cryptids kind of, you know, you get these crazy people telling you, spinning a yarn, as they say.
Yeah, all for attention.
Yeah. Well, we don't do this for attention, we do this for science and for knowledge. I think let's dive into that first cryptid, the gold standard, as I call it. Old One Eye. So Ordo Xeno status slate. Subject, Old One Eye. Classification, Tyranid bioform. Aberrant/legendary. Clearance, Magenta Obscurus. Note, portions of this record may remain disputed or unverifiable. Point 1, designation and nomenclature. Primary name, Old One Eye. Alternative identifiers. The One-Eyed Carnifex. The Undying Beast. It came back. Catechin 88th uses that one. It came back. That's not the best name, but I get what they're going for. Important, Old One-Eye is not a Tyranid designation. The name originates from Imperial Guard survivors' accounts applied repeatedly across separate engagements and campaigns. This alone marks the subject as anomalous. Yeah, it kind of can just show up, this Old One-Eye. Point 2, physical description. Witnesses report a Carnifex class Tyranid organism with the following reoccurring features. Extensive cranial damage to one side of the head, one ocular node destroyed and sealed by scar tissue, reinforced frontal carapace showing signs of repeated trauma, muscular exceeding expected mass for its bioform. However, no two confirmed sightings agree fully on height, mass, armament, or coloration. Some of these reports describe it as larger than the standard Carnifex. Others insist they're merely older, scarred, and more aggressive. This inconsistency prevents definitive identification.
It would be interesting because this happens with some cryptids because it's just an animal that gets mistaken for something else because they see it really quick. But the Old One-Eye could just be different Carnifexes that have been shot in the face. But because the legend continues and they shoot them in the face a lot, it's Old One-Eye. Like they've built their own fear and their own legend into a not common enemy. It's just something they've shot a lot.
Yeah. And let's be honest, Carnifexes get shot in the face a lot. I'm sure of it. I'm sure people always are pointing las cannons at their face. It happens. And yeah, like it's cool how like you get these different regiments like across the galaxy, and you're almost even like, well, how could that Tyranid even be in both these spots across the galaxy? But that's part of the joy and the charm of it. So some behavioral anomalies. Unlike standard Tyranid doctrine, Old One-Eye displays independent operation, often encountered without visible synapse creatures. It acts alone as an apex predator rather than a coordinated swarm. May persist after surrounding Tyranid forces are destroyed. Territorial hunting patterns. It reappears in the same regions months or years apart, targeting armored units, command elements, and strong points. Exhibits what witnesses interpret as deliberate pursuit. And it has extreme aggression. Displays no withdrawal behavior, continues advancing despite catastrophic bodily damage, prioritizes melee engagement under heavy fire. Several Astartes sources describe it as fixated rather than tactical. I like this a little bit. Like if we know the story of Old One-Eye, basically it's a Carnifex that during the First Tyrannic War invaded Ultramar. And on the planet, it was eventually hunted down and presumed to be destroyed, and they pushed its corpse into a giant cavern. Although over time it came back, and as it appears, it appears to not fully be a part of the fleets that it appears with, and it appears to kind of have its own patterns where if you don't have a synapse creature driving you forward necessarily, you might not get the same aggression or the same like kind of hunting kind of vibe. But this guy has it despite that.
So again, putting on my debunking hat, I would think that maybe, because I don't know where in the Tyranid's body the synapse part of their brain is, maybe getting shot in the face and losing one of your eyes is what makes it act differently. And that's why it's there after everything else leaves, because it didn't know it was supposed to leave. It's literally brain damaged. It doesn't know it has to go somewhere. It just knows I'm here. I have to fight.
That's a fun little thought. Yeah.
That can make sense from a biological standpoint. Cause like you look at people that like real life people that have taken on brain damage or had some kind of trauma done to their face and their brain, and they act completely different than what they had previously done before the accident. So
yeah.
We're out here debunking GW lore. Fake
Purge
news.
says it's kind of hard to gene code scar tissue, not to mention its abilities and skills could easily be explained. But how do you explain physical deformities that have nothing to do with genetics? Yeah, like that is funny. Like if this Carnifex, it has been reported on multiple planets. So either it went into the digestion pools and then got kind of reborn, with that weird gene-coded scar tissue for some reason. Or, it's ignoring digestion pools and hopping on transports or hopping on maybe even Tyranid ships too, but it's definitely not acting like it's a part of the swarm anymore.
What fleet is Old One Eye supposed to be?
See, Behemoth? What's the first one?
It's the red and blue one. Is that that's not Leviathan?
Kraken?
It might be Kraken.
Yeah.
I have Hive Fleet Behemoth.
Oh, it is Behemoth? Oh, I stand corrected. There's also a really old picture, like old metal old one-eyed, and he is not part of that fleet. He's yellow and black instead of the blue and red.
Yeah, like Old One Eye is an old model. Like he's from 3rd edition, I believe. And if you're looking at the video, I do have a picture of the official Old One Eye model. Like I stand true that this is the only Old One Eye model. They've come out with new kits like this one where they have the missing skull plate. But nah. That's a new Carnifex. This is Old One Eye. If it don't look like that, it ain't him.
Well, that would also, and someone asked about the physical deformities. If it is damaged and it does somehow make its way back to the fleet and it is absorbed into it again, it could not heal right and continue to mutate itself.
Yeah, like maybe part of the brain that has kind of like that little template's gone too or whatever, and it just can't give all of its data back, or who knows. You could justify it any which way. As we're talking about, though, it does have regenerative and survivability. This is the primary reason why Old One is classified as a cryptid level threat. Confirmed accounts claim the organism has survived massive explosive trauma, sustained heavy bolter fire, structural collapse burying the creature, loss of multiple limbs, destruction of vital organs. Like I said, it got pushed down a giant ice ravine and eventually climbed its way back out. But in each case, the subject was recorded as destroyed. And in each case, a matching organism was later encountered again. Whether this represents a single organism regenerating or the hive mind repeatedly recreating the same phenotype remains unknown. To Imperial forces on the ground, the distinctions are meaningless. I get all salty, like, this is Old One Eye. And then the guardsmen are like, I don't give a shit which one of these Carnifexes is Old One Eye. I'm going to shoot either of them in the face.
They're all Old One Eye after you shoot them in the face.
Pretty much. Do you see that Tyranid? I don't want to. Fire.
Exactly. So the origins in the hive mind, and this is theoretical. We have some theories of what might have happened to separate it from the hive mind. Theory 1, singular immortal organism. Old One Eye is a unique bioform with unprecedented regenerative capability. Status unproven, considered unlikely by the Mechanicus. This is, pretty common. We do have examples of Tyranids making special creatures like the Swarm Lord or like the Duma Melantai or the Death Leaper. We got tons of Tyranid named creatures. And sometimes they are distinct forms that the Tyranids have made, and sometimes they're just a lictor that the Cadians have called Death Leaper. It could go either way, but there are examples of it going both ways for sure. Theory 2, recreated legendary phenotype. The hive mind deliberately rebuilds the same organism, complete with scars, because the idea of the Old One Eye is useful. Psychological terror weapon, tested proven biomatter, survivor myths, amplified battlefield panic. Status, considered the most plausible explanation. That one's kind of fun. The hive mind's like, hey, these humans seem to really take offense to this Carnifex. Let's keep popping it up. They don't like it. It scares them. This guy shits his pants. We like that effect. That's more biomass for us. So they just keep remaking them.
And I'm pretty sure when we did the Tyranid episode, we talked that they do have kind of a teleportation thing where they kind of deconstruct and then get reconstructed somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or maybe that came to me in a dream, but that could be how they're moving them around, or moving the singular if there is just one around.
Yeah. I forgot what that teleporter Tyranid worm whole thing was called, but yeah, that would be a very great way for this guy to get around and kind of avoid the biopools.
Yeah, and then maybe that would also explain its mutations, because it's not actually healing, it's just getting ripped apart and put back together again.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Where it's literally, there's no piece of that brain because that piece never got deconstructed in the teleporter. Yeah, I like it. The third theory is adaptive memory entity. Old One Eye may represent a learning organism retaining behavioral data across incarnations. If true, this suggests Tyranid bioforms may possess continuality beyond individual bodies. Status classified as extremely concerning. Research suspended. I think out of those three theories, I like the first one the best. That this is almost like a prototype creature that got more than anything else gets into it. It gets like this super duper Wolverine level regenerative ability that none of the other Carnifexes at the time had. It becomes a standard biomorph eventually, but this was like the testing, the teaser, like a very special creature.
As the resident cryptid expert, self-titled, I think that it's either theory 2 or there is no one Old Eye. People just get hype because they shoot a Carnifex in the face and it doesn't die, and then it looks like the one Old Eye that they were told. So I don't think it even exists.
Hot take. I've seen the model.
So you're saying Old One Eye is a tulpa?
True. He's fake. He doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. There it is. We've come to it at last.
We've come to it. He's fake. He's fake news. He's not real. Nobody's
seen him. He's fake and gay. No one can touch him. So, as mentioned with theory 2, the psychological impact, that's pretty big with Old One Eye, despite, the different theories and which one he falls into. So Old One Eye is notable for the way it is discussed. Veterans warn new troops by names. Better sleep with one eye open, otherwise Old One Eye will get you. No, it doesn't quite work, but I'm sure the veterans have better sayings than I do. Regiments share stories across campaigns. The creature is anticipated before it is sighted. Common field sayings include, if you kill it, don't celebrate. If it's missing an eye, you're already dead. This is not tactical language. It is folklore. I like that the creature is anticipated before it is sighted. Like, you almost feel there's something weird. Like, there's like an energy. You almost know something extra bad is about to happen.
It's also pretty freaky because I assume we've all played Space Marine 2 or seen footage of Space Marine 2. Just all the Tyranids everywhere and how big the Carnifexes are. And then one guy's like, hey, did you see the one with one eye? No? Okay, if you do, you're dead. You're dead.
You're dead.
Like, wait, what about the other? There's 3 of them over there. Yeah, but they've got 2 eyes. We got a chance, dude. The one with one eye, cooked. But just pack it up. Just go home.
I now want a DLC where you are specifically hunting Old One Eye, and it's an impossible fight.
I love it. Yes.
Ooh. Doesn't impact the lore if we don't actually kill it.
Why is Old One Eye a cryptid? By Imperial analytical standards, Old One Eye qualifies as a xenocryptid because it is individually named by witnesses. It is reported destroyed multiple times. It reappears despite confirmation of death. Its physical description drifts over time. Its existence blurs the line between organism and legend. The Imperium cannot conclusively prove that there is one, that there are many, or that it can never be destroyed. So that's nice. Like, we just don't know too much about it, and the eyewitness accounts are pretty sketchy. They're like, I swore I killed that thing 4 times. And like, well, it's over there, so you didn't, dude. But he still might have seen it.
It'd be really funny if there's one dude who's just trying to shoot Carnifexes in the face so that he can say it's one Old One Eye and then try to kill it. He just wants some glory for himself.
Yeah, like some Corsican glory boy or whatever, just trying to do that for sure. Yeah.
He's like, look, it's totally Old One Eye. I just watched you shoot his face. No, bro. It's Old One Eye. Trust me.
You're going to watch me shoot your face next there, soldier. So the official Imperial position, the administration's position, is that Old One Eye is a misidentification of multiple Carnifex encounters. That makes sense that they would think that. Like, it just seems so crazy that this Carnifex not only survives all this, but also shows up everywhere. The Ordo Xenos position, maybe a little more nuanced, is the phenomenon known as Old One Eye warrants continued observation and restricted dissemination. So, yeah, they're still kind of figuring out what's what. They're not putting to. They're like, either way, we're gonna shoot bolters at it. It's fine, I think. And then the veteran guard position it's real. It's a real thing. You know, soldiers, they have their stories, and if you know any real like war veterans or whatever, they don't tell their stories to you. But if they do, you know they're serious. They're not just making shit up.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of reminds me of did you ever hear about the stories of the giants in Iraq?
I've heard some stuff, but tell me more.
So this is a legend because there's no reports or no proof of anything, but there's supposedly a special operations team that we had in Iraq during 2003 or 4. I can't remember when. But they allegedly encountered giants inside the caves while they were searching for the Taliban. Yeah, the Kandahar giants. See, he knows what's up.
Yeah.
And we supposedly killed a bunch of them, but there's no bodies, no pictures, no nothing. And it's one of those stories because, oh, my buddy that was in special forces told me this happened, but no one ever has a name to go with it, at least from what I've read.
Yeah, I recall in that story too that like there is American soldiers who were like speared by like tree poles that the giants was throwing at them or stuff like that. Pretty wild story.
I know I should be laughing, but that's just so funny and ridiculous. Like, dude, it totally speared the Delta guys.
Yeah.
With what? A tree.
he just shot put that thing, and yeah, man. There's some wild stories out there. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but the Earth is full of all types of weird creatures, man, and humanoids.
I won't derail too much, but I actually had a relative that served in the Navy during World War II. And then, of course, he told stories of like the battles that he fought in the Pacific. But then there was someone that asked if he had seen like anything else out there in the ocean, and he just refuses to speak of it.
Yikes. PewDiePie Pearson asks, how long is the lifespan of a Carnifex? If we had knowledge of that, like, isn't Old One Eye above 100 years as of now, if not even older? Yeah, like, Tyranids don't need a long lifespan, and like I doubt any Tyranid ever dies of old age. That wouldn't be practical for the Tyranid fleet, first of all, but also like after every planet, they all get reabsorbed by those digestion pools. So you don't need to make long-living creatures because at the end of the day, they're going to be digested. And we know Tyranids, they capture a planet in like a couple months. So, you know, they don't need these huge lifespans. But at the same time, yeah, maybe like age is weird, man. Like if you know how to like just tweak your DNA like the Tyranids does, you can make something that's functionally immortal. I'm not a geneticist, but like you hear people talking about like permanent life increasing technology, and Tyranids could do it too because they're master geneticists, and like they've literally made this creature. They can make it so that the telomeres on the end of their genes, they go farther, go longer, whatever the fuck telomeres are supposed to do. I think they're more like caps, but whatever.
I think as a podcast host, based on other podcast hosts, you can make claims about genetics all you want.
I think that's actually a law.
I think it's law at this point.
Yeah. No, I heard it on a podcast who heard it from another guy who read it in a book who actually wrote the book. So it's fact.
It's true. It came to me in a dream. Therefore, it's true.
So the final assessment on Old One Eye, it's not merely a Tyranid bioform. It is a reoccurring horror, a named fear, and a story that keeps proving itself true. In a galaxy of catalog monsters, Old One Eye stands apart because it has crossed into myth without losing its teeth. Recommendations: do not attempt to confirm its death. Do not attempt to study it in isolation. Treat all sightings as potential reappearances, not new contacts. Yeah, very cool. Old One Eye. You just got this Tyranid that acts that acts differently than all the other Tyranids and pops up all over the place. It's pretty cool.
Super cool.
Mm-hmm. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
I'm liking this like salamander-esque look on like the old one-eye model.
Yeah, like that scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the original Salamander's paint when it was yellow with the stripes and stuff, that's my base.
Would be a nightmare to paint that color scheme, that Salamander's one, but yeah.
But it looks so good. It looks so good.
Here's one other picture of like old One Eye and the Carnifexes of his time. As you can see, he's pretty similar, but there's a couple like growths on him, like what would you call them? Like bulbs or like I don't even know. Like little pustules almost.
Pustules? Yeah, like on his, I don't want to say elbows, but it's like right before his I wonder if they're not exactly pustules because they look kind of solid. I wonder if it's just like bony growths.
Yeah, and they might just be that bone spurs or chitin spurs or something like that. But like he looks more nurgly almost than the normal Carnifex of his time.
The Tyranids are Nurgle coated. What?
You heard it here first.
And it was on a podcast, so it's true.
And it's true.
It must be true.
It has to be true.
Oh, do we want to dive into our next little cryptid? Well, not little, but
yes, let's get into it.
Fine. Ordo Xenos Strategic Data Archive. Subject: The Beast of Armageddon. Classification: Orcoid entity, aberrant, legendary, suppressed. Clearance: Omega Black. Status: officially destroyed multiple times. Addendum: historical data corruption extreme. Designation and historical context: primary designation as the Beast of Armageddon, but it can also be called the Prime Beast, the Overbeast, the one that should not exist per the inquisitorial marginalia. And also affectionately called here on Lorehammer the Prime Work.
Yes, the Prime Work.
The Prime Work.
All right. Something to clarify. The Beast of Armageddon is not a proper orc name, nor a confirmed biological designation. It is a retrospective imperial label applied to an entity or entities encountered during the conflicts collectively referred to as the War of the Beast. As of many cryptid-level threats, the name refers as much to an idea as to a physical organism. So 3 orcs in a trench coat. Possibly.
But they believe that they're the Beast of Armageddon. Therefore, they are the Beast of Armageddon.
So it's true.
And they have technically stitched each other to each other. Like the hands and the feet are stitched onto the shoulders and stuff. So they are technically one orc now, but...
True.
Yeah,
it's
so
smarter, too, because they merged the 3 brains into one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a little AI processor. Just... hook enough orc brains up to something and it can be smart, I guess.
Yeah, smart.
Must have had a really good mad doc to be able to pull that off.
Yeah. So the War of the Beast, this is where this creature comes from. This happens around M32. It's a time of legend. We had like 11 books written about it. But man, some of the concepts they introduced this whole like prime orc concept during these books and stuff. And it was a very interesting thing. And that's really why I wanted to choose this guy for this next one, was this whole prime orc. Like, what the hell is a prime orc? Like, is it a different type of orc? Is it just humans categorizing it weirdly? Like, hard to say, but we'll get through it.
Has Warhammer ever officially had like a episode series on the War of the Beast?
Never on the War of the Beast, but we did do a Prime Orc episode where we did talk about the War of the Beast a little bit, and we also talked about like the War in Heaven, where they were almost all prime orcs at that point.
All right, fair enough.
I know we're going to get into the description, and I haven't read that part yet, but I'm just picturing like a giant Titan-sized orc with like metal pieces just hanging off him to give him clothes or something.
Here's some sweet artwork of like prime orcs. That one's all right. That one's pretty weird too. They're wearing like power armor and stuff, these prime orcs, but they're also fucking huge, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably going to get into it, but I think actually I'll wait till I finish this data slate here. Okay, so the physical description is very severely disputed. So again, just like old One Eye. So surviving records describe the beast as orcoid in form, but vastly exceeding known war boss parameters. So for those who are not in the know, the longer an orc war boss stays in power, the bigger he gets. The more he fights, the bigger he gets. Because that's the orc way. Comparable in scale to Imperial Titans. So just like what Logan here was mentioning. Possessing enhanced intellect, strategic awareness, and command presence. And I think it was said in one of the books for War of the Beast that like the dude spoke like near perfect Gothic too, compared to like what an orc typically sounds like.
Yeah.
That is so uncomfortable.
And then radiates a psychic dominance that compelled obedience from other orcs. And I think that's where the Primarch joke comes from, because like how the Primarchs have that aura about them with other Space Marines and even mortals. That's kind of the same vibe that the Beast kind of radiates.
Yeah.
However, no two primary sources agree on the Beast's exact size, appearance, or anatomy. Some accounts imply a single colossal orc. Others suggest a class of identical beings. Now, that's a terrifying thought. Or a recurring leadership phenotype recreated by orc society. The lack of consistent data renders definitive classification impossible. Okay, I'll go ahead and say it here, but I think some people also speculated that it might actually have been a resurgent Krork.
Yeah. And then you could get to like discussions of like what the fuck is a Krork compared to an orc compared to a prime orc. Like, are these really all three categories of orcs, or as we know, orcs kind of just level up to the level that they're needed to have the best fight? So in the War in Heaven, yeah, you get the Krorks who are like super orcs, but really that's just orcs that need that level of technology. You could have that kind of little conversation of where those lines actually are, but I don't know.
Yeah.
If there are multiple of them, it's kind of like our real world Bigfoots. How there's supposed to be one Bigfoot, but then there's multiple Bigfoot, but then they're in different areas, or he's one traveling everywhere.
Sharing secrets for a better life.
Behavioral anomalies. The Beast deviated sharply from standard orc behavior. Point 1, strategic cognition. They coordinated a galaxy-spanning campaigns. Yep. Utilized advanced technology on a scale unseen before or since, and demonstrated long-term planning capability. This contradicts baseline orc psychological models. So this is very calculated, very intelligent, and read the War of the Beast if you want to find out what actually happens.
Yeah.
I am told the quality of those books is kind of hit or miss.
You have fun with it just for the fact that it's 40K. If you're listening to a 40K podcast, I'm sure you like that book too. But if you're more of a My Little Pony guy, then probably not.
I was going to say, you just described all of 40K literature. It's really hit or miss. It's going to be the best thing. It's going to be the best thing you've ever read, or it's going to be nonsense, and there will be no in between.
Yeah.
I mean, that's and
either way, it's canon.
Yeah, it's all canon.
It's all canon. Everything is canon, but not everything is true.
Oh my god.
Point 2, absolute dominance. Orcs in proximity to the beast displayed unprecedented discipline, obeyed without challenge, and referred to the beast with ritualized reverence. This suggests that the beast functioned as a psychic gravitational center.
Or orcs with synapse is a funny thing to think about.
Oh, man. Point 3, persistence after death. Imperial records confirm the beast was slain in combat, annihilated by overwhelming force, declared destroyed by high command. And yet, further entities bearing identical authority, scale, and designation appeared afterward. Whether these were survivors, replacements, or reincarnations remains unresolved.
All right, so I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat. We've never killed, or not we, the Imperium has never killed one once. They're just claiming they killed it to rally the troops and make them not afraid anymore. These are real. Old One Eye isn't real, but this is real. And the Imperium is lying about killing this one.
Oh, God. Oh, that propaganda machine works hard.
It does.
All right. The multiple death problem. The Beast of Armageddon shares its cryptid status primarily due to the following paradox. The Imperium records multiple confirmed kills. Each kill was treated as final, and each time the beast had returned. This has led to 3 dominant theories. Theory number 1, it is a singular immortal orc. The beast was one organism that survived catastrophic destruction repeatedly. Status, rejected. Biological survivability exceeds orcoid limits. Now, has there ever actually been established like a lifespan of an orc, provided he doesn't die in a fight?
Yeah. I wonder what the oldest orc technically would be. Like maybe like Gazkel's teacher. I forget, Mad Doc Grotznik. Yeah, like the thing about fungus is, man, it gets old and ancient, and it just kind of grows. And yeah, I can see too how like if the beast was like this immortal form, it would be pretty easy to justify that you got this orc that's like fungus is super reproductive, or its spores are so like potent that when he dies he releases them on himself even, and then they grow himself back to himself. You know, you could come up with some crazy spore theories.
So a quick search, the Abominable Intelligence is saying orcs can live for centuries and they don't actually die of old age. They just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
And greener.
And greener, 100%.
Because green is the best color.
100%. But that could be if this is one that just keeps winning fight after fight after fight. Maybe the Imperium did kill one, but another one survived the fight, so he got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then eventually someone survived it to report that they killed it, versus the big orc just killing everything repeatedly.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that. Let's see what the second theory is. The replicated archetype. The beast is a recurring orc super leader phenotype produced when orc society reaches a sufficient scale. The name persists even as the body changes. Memory of prior beasts influences later ones. Orc belief may reinforce continuity. Okay, that's. I was about to just put on my tinfoil hat and just say no. This one's fucking fake, but I could that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh shit. We're talking orc belief here. Yeah. Okay. Now we're in a whole new territory of weird.
Widely accepted. The status is widely accepted.
Yeah. Now I'm laughing because they're just gaslighting the next biggest orc into believing that the Supreme Leader, like, use the big boss. What?
You've always been the beast.
Yeah, you speak better than us. I do. It's just gassing him up, and he believes it.
So, if we take this to the logical extreme, is this going to be the final evolution of Gazkul Magrik Thraka?
Yeah, I think so. You know, if we keep getting shitty GW authors, he will be a prime orc eventually. Yeah,
I can't wait for him to be Morkanaut sized.
Yes, sir. I have this picture up of Quarks from The War in Heaven, and you can kind of see the scale on this one, how big these fucking orcs really are, man. That's like, Titan size, man.
It's a big boy.
Mm-hmm. And then the third theory is Orcoid meta-entity. The beast is not an individual, but an emergent orc god form, manifesting physically when conditions are met. It is comparable to a living wah made flesh. Can I get a wah in the chat? Destruction disperses, not ends the entity. Reappearance is inevitable. Status classified extremely dangerous. Further research forbidden.
That one's a spicy one that like the orcs have kind of manifested some type of entity in reality that, it operates like an orc, it looks like an orc, it bleeds like an orc, but ultimately it's like this weird psychic orc god that is manifested.
Well, the Tau did it, so why couldn't the orcs do it?
Yeah. And, they do believe in the warp and they do affect it. Like I think Gork and Mork are actual like chaos entities, so to speak. So then you have something else in reality that they've also manifested for sure. Like we have our gods and then we also have the prime example of what it's like to be an orc. And then they believe that and then it manifests.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that. Psychological and strategic impact. Unlike conventional orc warlords, the beast inspires fear among Imperial commanders, silence in administratum records, doctrinal panic within the Adeptus Astartes. Veteran accounts avoid specifics, instead using phrases such as, "It wasn't just bigger. It knew we were coming. Killing it didn't stop anything." This language mirrors that used in other confirmed cryptid cases. Just as old One Eye, killing it did not stop anything. It keeps coming back.
Yeah, like I feel like with cryptids, there has to be some form of like supernatural element, and this kind of like reoccurring trope of coming back from the dead almost seems like that's that phenomenon.
It's just making me giggle because the coming back. I'm thinking Five Nights at Freddy's. Cryptid.
I always come back. All right. Suppression and historical erasure. Following the conflict, large portions of the War of the Beast were sealed. References to the Beast were fragmented or reclassified, and the event was reframed as a series of unrelated orc wars. This was not due to victory, it was due to containment of truth. And to quote to age myself and quote the X-Files, the truth is out there.
I was going to say, I watched the X-Files and I'm younger than you, so I don't think that dates you that much.
Oh,
Either you're a lot younger or I'm a lot older. I'm going with you're younger. That's what I'm going with.
Why was the Beast of Armageddon, or why the Beast of Armageddon is a cryptid? So by old One Eye standard, so we're comparing ourselves to old One Eye here. The beast qualifies because it is named by survivors, not taxonomists. It was killed repeatedly without final resolution. Its description shifts across records. Its true nature remains unprovable. It functions as a warning, not a unit entry. And the Imperium cannot confirm how many beasts existed, whether they were the same being, or whether another will rise again, just like Bigfoot.
Just like
True. This is the Bigfoot of the 40K universe.
Just shows up walking on your hive city.
Yeah. People try to take pictures and it's just fuzzy, grainy data slates.
Damn it. Every time.
Every time.
Yeah. Yeah, the beast. It has a couple things. Like, even if we did have a confirmed corpse of the beast, it doesn't mean that there aren't other beasts out there. And it doesn't, like, answer some of these questions of, like, is this the next evolution? Like, is this, like, some orc manifestation? Like, even if you had the corpse, all these questions kind of still remain. You couldn't really study it too well.
You know, leaning into my theory that the Imperium has never actually killed one of these, they just keep saying they did. If they are Titan-sized, how did you lose a Titan-sized body?
I think one time they lost it in a Nova reactor. Maybe not a Nova, but some type of reactor. Him and Vulcan got pushed into it together, and then Vulcan stumbles out like, "Oh, holy fuck, that was crazy!" And I don't think we ever see the Beast.
But if Vulcan's not Titan-sized, I'm talking about the Titan-sized ones.
Oh, he took the Titan-sized one in there with him, though.
Vulcan tackled a Titan-sized entity and brought it down. Okay.
And Angron stopped the Warhound Titan from stepping on Logar. You know, these are Primarchs we're talking about.
And then
he was fueled by hate. That's different.
Yeah, and Sanguinius took on a Titan during the Siege of Terra, so it makes sense.
Well, Sanguinius is gorgeous, and that'll get you everywhere.
Yeah. I gaze upon my beauty in despair, Titan.
Yeah, he's just going, oh, the beautiful Squidward. He just does this, and everyone just gets out of his way.
That's how the Siege of Terra is won.
100%.
So what is the Imperium's position on the Beast? So the Administratum states the War of the Beast was an anomalous but concluded orc incursion. Okay. What does the Ordo Xenos think? Conditions producing a beast-level orcoid entity must never be allowed to occur. All right, fair. What do the Astartes say? If orcs ever unite like that again, the name won't matter. I've never agreed with a statement like that more.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. The naming comes after the battle. You know, mid-battle, they're not just like, Sergeant, what do we call this thing? He's like, give me a second. It's gonna be called the Baddie. No, that's not gonna work. Like yeah.
And if I remember correct, I think the Imperial fists were almost entirely wiped out during the War of the Beast.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, and they had to then initiate their last wall protocol and rebuild the chapter with other secondary chapters. But pretty wild story if you want to read about it. The War of the Beast series. Purge says this, and this was kind of like almost of the same Ordo Xenos position. An environmental orc evolution, when there's high fungus density, it triggers a prime orc, is his theory. So, you know, the conditions producing a beast level orcoid entity must never be allowed to reoccur. So I don't know, there's like a damp swamp planet. You gotta exterminate that shit, because we can't have too many spores making orc beasts.
Send in the Mechanicus, turn it into a forge world. That'll dry that swamp up real quick.
Yep, when the skies are full of molten ash, that will take care of the spores.
Aren't there some molds that are heat resistant? What if that creates them?
Oh shit, I don't like that.
That would be a terrifying orc.
Yeah, you're like, get the heavy flamer? Fuck. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I can't. It's giving me like manufacturing molds that are heat resistant. I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for, but thank you, Google.
Thank you, AI overview. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Abominable intelligence. Well, while Logan is looking that up, I'll finish this section off with the final assessment. The Beast of Armageddon was not merely an orc. It was a threshold event, a recurring nightmare, and proof that orcs can evolve into something the Imperium cannot easily name or kill. Where Old One Eye is a monster that won't stay dead, the Beast of Armageddon is a war that keeps trying to come back. I like that statement. That actually goes really hard. Recommendations. Monitor all large-scale orc unifications. Treat any unusually intelligent war boss as a potential pre-beast manifestation. That's cool. Suppress use of the title Beast in frontline reports to avoid panic.
Yeah. So that's a fun thought. Like, yeah, we know Gazkill's a huge fucking orc and probably the next kind of example of what a prime orc would be, but we don't ever want to say that. We don't want to ever manifest that. Don't let any inquisitors hear you say those words. It's not good.
So there are types of mold that are heat resistant, drought resistant, water not needed, just spread, and they produce more spores than normal mold. So I could see that being a recipe to make one of these giant ones.
Yeah. I've always thought it'd be kind of cool to do some different colored orcs. Like, I always think of like glow in the dark mold. Almost think of Star Wars Twi'leks. I think they're from the planet of like Fallujah or something. And that planet's like this like glowing, crazy cool planet. And just imagine if you have orcs kind of grow up on that planet with that kind of fungus. So you get these like glowing blues and green orcs.
That would be sick.
I like that.
What is that planet called? Do we know? Fallujah?
Fallujah.
Fallujah or Felucia. Because Felucia is a place on Earth, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, I got a quick little picture here pulled up.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can kind of see like these spore pods, these mushroom pods of how they're glowing. Like it'd be cool to do these like glowing underground orcoids or, whatever.
That'd be sick.
My question is, and the gaming monsters kind of making a good point, like turquoise orc, red orc. Would they embody what the colors the orcs think they? Would they embody the colors and the abilities that the orc thinks they do? So would a red orc, in fact, be faster?
Do the red orcs think like the green orcs, though? Now we have to assess how they all think.
Ooh, do they think? Or do they just act?
Yeah. Maybe that old one eye is really a red orc. He just looks like a Tyranid.
Yeah, maybe. That's the beauty of cryptids. You could get me there. I could believe such a thing. Red orcs are the Flash of the Warhammer universe. Okay.
Flashpoint is just one red orc sprinting around, resetting everything back to 7th edition.
Oh, thank God, a time I understand.
Yeah, the new 40K.
Yeah, funny. Pretty cool. I like that one. The Prime Orc one, such an interesting concept. I hope we don't ever hear about it again, though.
I hope we do.
Yeah,
I hope it crawls out of the warp.
No.
Like, I don't know if anyone played Digimon Time Stranger, but at the very beginning, there's a giant hand that comes out of a portal and just smacks a building. And that would be so cool. Just an orc hand coming out of the warp, bigger than anything we've seen, and just smacking it.
In AOS, they have they're like psychic attacks, and one of them is like the foot of Gork, and it's like a giant foot template or something like that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a carryover from Old World Fantasy.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got this
that's crazy.
Big green glowing orc foot coming stomping on all your shit as the orcs like howl to it. Hell yeah. Cool. Well, let's move on to the third and final cryptid for the episode, the Void Dragon of Mars.
Yes, the Void Dragon of Mars. Per the Order Xenos and the Order Mechanicum sealed dossier. Its classification is a Catan entity, fragmented, bound, and existential. Aren't we all? Clearance Exterminatus Absolutus. Status contained, probably. Warning, unauthorized cognition of this file constitutes tech heresy. What a fun thing to commit. All right. Designation and forbidden nomenclature. Common Imperial reference, the Void Dragon of Mars. The Mechanicus euphemisms, the dragon, the great machine spirit below, the Omnissiah's tail. That's a sick one. Xenos identifiers, cross-referenced. A void dragon from the Catan. Shard of the Dragon. Star God of the Infinite Circuit. That is the coolest name by far.
Yeah.
A critical note. No single authority agrees on whether the entity beneath Mars is a shard of the Void Dragon, the largest surviving fragment, or something functionally indistinguishable from the whole thing. This lack of consensus is deliberate. Classic Imperial misdirection.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the myth of the Void Dragon, it all starts with the Emperor battling him on Terra during the Middle Ages, where there's a dragon, attacking villages or whatever, and the Emperor's like, I'm gonna fucking deal with this. And he does. He hops on his horse in his gold-plated armor, and he goes and he battles this dragon, and then he flies him to Mars and imprisons him there. Or so the myth goes from the Middle Ages. That doesn't really tell you what the fuck it was, though. But that is kind of where this stemmed from.
It feels very cryptid-y. Just some giant beast locked away forever.
Yeah, I have like this sweet artwork of the Emperor standing on this slain creature while some sexy angels bitches fly above him. Yeah, look at all of them up there.
You started so nice. You got them. Why don't you do that?
Sometimes it gets late, so my adjectives get down to only swear words.
It's just so funny.
From a dragon killer to a farmer, what a turning point he did.
It's that from Star Wars, farming, a man of your talents. I mean, he did just fly to Mars. That probably took some energy. All right. But we are going to talk about its location and containment disputed. The alleged location, a subcrustal vault beneath Mars. Depth classified beyond noosphere access. Sealed prior to the age of the Imperium. It's kind of creepy to think about that because there's already all the lost knowledge in the dark age of technology and everything. But there's stuff before that they have no clue. Even in the golden age, they're like, I don't know what's down there, and I'm not gonna check.
Yeah, we don't dare go down there.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm not gonna go down there. The containment status. The official Mechanicus doctrine claims Maz is sanctified. No unbound entity dwells beneath its surface. However, the Necrons reference the dragon chained beneath the red world. Aldari myth cycles warn of the sleeping machine god. And pre-Unity Terran legends describe a metallic dragon slain by a golden warrior. These accounts converge too cleanly to dismiss. So I don't think the Mechanicum statement is false in compared to the other statements of the other things, because they said no unbound entity dwells beneath the surface. If it's bound, which the other two are saying it's a sleeping machine god, it could be tied down, the dragon chained beneath the red world. The Mechanicum's not wrong. It's not unbound. It's just
a little wordplay.
Yeah, it's just a little wordplay. Yeah. Like, it's not unbound. There's no one tied up in my basement.
They technically told the truth.
Yeah. What? No, I didn't hear that screaming. What are you talking about? All right. The physical description, theoretical. No direct visual confirmation exists. Recovered descriptions derived from it came to them in a dream. I wasn't ready for that. It actually came to them in a dream. All right, recovered descriptions that came to them in a dream. Ancient myths and Necron data suggest a vast serpentine mechanical form, a body composed of living metal and energy, presence defined more by absence than math, reality distortion in proximity to advanced technology. Important clarification. The Void Dragon is not seen. It is inferred. All descriptions are secondary effects. Okay, so Schrodinger's Catan dragon came to them in a dream, and it's under Mars. That's what I'm getting out of this.
And it's very real, but at the same time, it's a secret. So
it's totally not chained. It's not chained under Mars. It came to be in a dream. This is the most cryptid of the cryptid ones I think we have here, because it's like it's real. I saw it in my dream.
Even the Emperor says it's real.
Yeah, they have. Well, did he say it was real, or did the legend say he said it was real?
Oh shit!
That's true cryptid status. He never said it was real. The government never confirmed the existence of aliens. All the witnesses said the government was there with the aliens. That's the energy I'm getting from this. All right, the behavioral evidence, again indirect. The Void Dragon has never been observed acting. It never acts, it just does. No. Instead, its influence is recorded. Technological reverence. Mars developed a machine worshiping culture independently, the machine spirit treated as sacred, innovation framed as revelation, not innovation. This belief system predates full Imperium unification. Technological intuition. Adepts experience visions, insights, and compulsions. Certain discoveries described as remembered rather than learned. Extreme hostility towards Necron technologies parallel ancient enmity. These patterns suggest a passive psychic leakage. Well, I kind of see that one. It's kind of cool to think about, though, on why they would hate the Necrons so much.
Yeah.
Because their dreams are haunted by their god that they've locked underneath their planet. The Emperor's intervention. Fragmentary records indicate that the Emperor personally confronted a dragon on Mars. The entity was defeated but not destroyed. A prison, not a tomb, was created. This implies the Void Dragon could not be killed. That also kind of contradicts the other story that he fought it on Mars or fought it on Earth and flew it to Mars. Which is
that
an
might have
Imperium.
just been a little typo on my part. Honestly.
Oh, okay.
A little like weirdly worded.
Mark is part of the Imperial propaganda machine.
Yes, misinformation and disinformation. I do both.
I love that.
And now that we have some more information covered, if everyone in the stream would like to just watch this right here, there you go.
Who are you?
There was
guys?
no such thing as a void dragon.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, this is cool. This kind of evidence towards why it's typically thought of as a Satan. We got the Emperor who intentionally kind of put it there to seep into Mars, into becoming this like industrial manufacturing state, essentially. Like, you know, we know he views humanity as like, he wants humans to still be humans, and that's not the Mechanicum. So at the same time, he almost set up this like side empire that can do all this crazy stuff that he doesn't really have to worry about if they're human or not, and he gets all the benefits. Like the great tale of the Necron is don't give up your mortal body for a fake one. Like don't put your power in AI or all that kind of stuff. And the Emperor probably knew all that. So you can't have this kind of like thought and technology and reverence bleed into your entire empire. It will just infect humans, and eventually there won't be any humans left. There'll only be cyborgs. But you still kind of need it.
Yeah. Well, two things. One, you just went even more full tinfoil hat conspiracy that the Emperor planted the Void Dragon to get a technological Earth. Yes. But have control of it still without corrupting them. But the cyborg thing, aren't Adeptus Astartes technically cyborgs because of all their implants?
They would be like transhumans more so than cyborgs.
There's a difference, transhuman.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Withdrawn.
I mean, by that logic, you have a lot of cyborgs in the Imperium, not just the Astartes.
And like, even technically today, we are all cyborgs. Like we all have a phone in our hand. Like it's not technically a part of us, but it fucking damn well is, you know? Can you guys go a day without your phone? Probably not. So you can also have the transhuman cyborgs as well, where maybe the best example would be like the Iron Hands, where it's like, oh yeah, they are cyborgs. Like they are going the robot route for sure with limited human processing ability, kind of leading the robot form.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the origin and the Catan context. The Void Dragon was once one of the Catan, a star-born entity of immense power, worshipped as gods by the Necromartyr, shattered during the war in heaven, fragments bound, enslaved, and imprisoned. The Mars entity aligns perfectly with known Void Dragon traits: dominion over machinery and energy, a contempt for organic life, which actually that kind of pushes the whole Mechanicum, I crave the certainty of steel thing if they're getting it from that. Obsession with the control and order. If it is merely a shard, it is still catastrophic by Imperial standards. All right, I'm calling my AdMech friends heretic now because I had the proof the Void Dragon corrupted them.
Yeah. From day one.
Day one. I saw it on Warhammer. It's true.
With the gaming monster says, wait, did the belief in the machine spirit start after the dream started? And then did they start getting voices in their head, but it's all the void dragon? Yeah, like the Emperor put the void dragon on Mars during the Middle Ages. So like from that point on, like everything on Mars is being affected by it. So yeah, did the belief in the machine spirit start after the dream started? Yeah, probably.
That's just crazy to think about. He planted that seed and it paid off so much further down the road.
Like, yeah, thousands of years later.
All right. The cryptid paradox. Unlike Old One Eye or the Beast of Armageddon, the Void Dragon is never sighted, never confirmed, and never acknowledged. And yet, entire institutions behave as if it exists. Policies, doctrines, and taboos orbit its shadows. No one with sufficient clearance publicly denies it. This is what we said earlier. It's cryptid logic at its purest. The thing is real because everyone or everything acts like it is.
Yeah.
The Emperor planned the dreams. That's like Space King, where they're just looking at him, they hear his voice all the time. Space King came to me in my dreams, and he said we have to kill the Void Dragon in Mars.
I'm in.
I'm in. All right. Continuing on why the Void Dragon is a cryptid. It qualifies because it is only known through effects, not through observation. Its existence is officially denied. Independent cultures describe it as the same entity. It cannot be killed, only hidden. Its reemergence would redefine reality. Where Old One Eye is a recurring monster of war and the Beast is a reoccurring war, the Void Dragon is a reoccurring truth that the Imperium refuses to face.
And that truth is that the entire Imperium is, as always, built on lies. We got this whole empire that is basically run by a star god, a Xeno star god. So
you'd think they'd have a giant war about that, probably in like the 31st millennia.
Yeah, if it ever got out, man, it could get messy.
Yeah, maybe someone could commit some heresy and take half his brothers and burn the galaxy. I don't know. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
Be an interesting narrative plot.
Would be very interesting, yeah.
And then this empire that's founded on a lie just slowly declines over 10,000 years into this horrible dystopian landscape. Yeah.
Just as the Emperor intended. Ah, beautiful.
Yeah, he's sitting on the gold throne going, yeah, this is pretty good.
Now harvest my gunk again and make some psi grenades.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, kill 1,000 people for me. Oh yeah, that's great. Thank you. The Emperor's a dude, bro. He's like, yeah, man, just come in and kill them real quick for me. Thanks.
Rub them on my body. It's so dry. Oh, man.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the psychers again.
Go one paragraph without someone making it weird. Challenge impossible. Probably couldn't make it last more than a couple books. You're right. I don't think you could make 40-something books out of it. Where are they at now? Mark, you should know this off the top of your head.
97.
Oh,
I don't know.
64.
Oh, 64. Wow.
64.
Well, I was including short stories and novellas as well, okay? And audio dramas that never made it to print. So fuck you. Fuck you.
Apparently there
Does that count the Siege of Terra as well?
Or
is that different?
No, it does not. That's its own series.
I think it does. Yes, it does. This count because there's the 54 main novels about the central story, starting with Horus Rising, the End of Death trilogy, and then the Siege of Terra.
Wow. The more we know.
The more you know.
The more
Follow
you know.
us on Lorehammer for more fat now.
And hit that like and subscribe button for.
Yeah, you guys are here. You know what's happening.
You know what's what. You've podcasted before. You know the drill.
We're in the couple. You just did like 250 or 251, didn't you?
What?
Episode number?
Oh, yeah, we're getting close to that, around there.
I thought we were there.
Yeah, I don't even know off the top of my head.
220. 220 was the last one.
220.
Okay, so we're almost there. We're getting there. Yeah. Love that. All right. The official positions, which are surprising no one, contradictory. The Adeptus Mechanicus Orthodoxy. The Omnissiah alone guides all knowledge. So, just deny.
Yeah, don't ask them who the Omnissiah is, though, because they might say the Void Dragon.
Yeah, it came to them in their dreams, so don't ask. They don't want to answer that.
Don't ask.
The Inquisition in a sealed addendum. Mars is not as empty as it claims. You're right. They're hiding a lot of stuff, like female tech priests. They're there.
No,
I know they're there.
No, those aren't real.
I know they're there.
That's just wokeism.
They're guarded by the female custodies. I know they're there.
No.
Can Logan go one episode without rage baiting Mark? Probably not.
It's like that Uncle Ruckus meme. It's like, read the book, read it.
No!
Bold reference to bring up. All right, the Necron translation fragment. The dragon sleeps where iron dreams. That's a hard line.
Yeah, cool.
Necron supremacy. Hell yeah.
Egyptian Terminator supremacy. Let's go. All right. The final assessment. The Void Dragon of Mars is not a battlefield threat. It is a civilizational fault line, a god in chains beneath a religion, proof that humanity's greatest strength may rest on an alien lie. That's insane to think about.
Love it. Yeah, man.
If Old One Eye teaches soldiers that some monsters don't stay dead, the Void Dragon teaches empires that some gods never leave. Recommendation: do not investigate, do not awaken, do not allow Mars to ever truly question itself. That really is a lot of cult-like religious dogma right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, no, just don't talk about it. Just have faith. The Omnissiah will bless you if you shut up and quit asking about the dragon we keep in the basement. Don't shut up. Stop asking, or we'll feed you to it.
If it's real. I mean,
if it's real. I'm not saying it's real, but if it is, so help me, Emperor, I'm going to feed you with the dragon. That was good. That was a lot of fun. Which one was your guys' favorite?
Gerald?
Definitely the Void Dragon.
The Void, yeah.
And I've been saying it since the Omnissiah episode. Like it's the hilarious ultimate irony that the entirety of the Mechanicum and the Imperium's technological stance is founded on Xena's technology.
Yeah.
Well, if going a step further, if we subscribe that the Emperor himself is actually a chaos god, then the Imperium is also chaos, and there is the Tower of the only good guys is what I'm getting out of that.
Yeah. Okay, so you're rage baiting me again, are you? And I'm not gonna fall for it this time.
I'll try again before we end. Don't worry, it's coming.
Okay, so you guys...
What'd you think, Mark? What was your favorite?
I think I'm going with Old One Eye.
Old One Eye.
It's just one of those. I think though it has a special spot in my heart. Like I recall reading a couple short stories as like a kid, like the very first couple short stories I ever read. The very first one was about Kroot eating Eldar warriors in a jungle, and it was in the very first Tau codex, and it was fucking tight. But then we also got a cool short story in the Tyranid 3rd edition codex about Old One Eye, and I remember reading that and just being like, oh my god, this is not what I grew up with the Bible, I'll tell you that, is what I would think to myself.
That's funny. I like for purely a cryptid, I agree with Mark on Old One Eye, but for like eldritch horror giant conspiracy, the Void Dragon is just so much more.
Yeah.
But as like just a nightmarish creature, I'm gonna have to give it to the Old One Eye.
Yeah. Nice, I like it. I did have a bunch of other cryptids that like could have made the cut. And maybe we'll do another cryptid episode because this was pretty fun. It's a great way to kind of get lots of little snippets as opposed to like just kind of really this broad overview. We touched a lot of different facets here, so a lot of fun. If you guys have cryptids that you think we should dive into in this way, let us know. Reach out on the Discord or however else you want to reach out to us, and we can start doing some more of these if we feel like we got things to talk about. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Do we want to do some questions or call-ins real quick?
Yeah, I guess we got time for a quick call-in if anyone wants. I'll drop a link in the chat right now. All you got to do is click that link, and then you'll come to the stage, and you can share your thoughts on any of these cryptids.
People are already clamoring for more, so that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Emperor.
Emperor is a cryptid. Yeah, that's funny.
True.
Yeah. Purge says, I'm pretty sure there's lore that the Golden Throne is just a display piece, and his actual husk is stored away with even more limited access. And then he says, don't quote me, though. No, I heard it on a podcast from me that is fact in canon, so...
100%. It's true.
Source, myself.
Yeah. It was fact checked by true American patriots that it came to them in a dream.
Oh, I love those. Old One Eye seems like a terrible nickname for a dick. Yep.
I would be
to the show.
I would go see a doctor if it's got two.
Winky Blinky, the one-eyed snake.
It seems rather alarming.
Oh man. The other cryptid off the top of my head is the Doom of Melanti. It was so similar though to the Old One Eye, kind of this Tyranid creature that's rumored, and so I kind of dropped it. I'm just filling time till somebody joins in.
Yeah, I thought Gaming Monster was going to come on, but the Doom of Melanti, that's cool. What did I click in? This isn't even. What is this? I'm on some. I don't know what wiki I'm on. I think I found the wrong thing. Oh, I way found the wrong thing. Yeah, my dyslexia got me.
Purge just joined with us. Hey, Purge, how's it going, man?
It's going. It's been a while.
Yeah, been a while. Nice to hear your voice. How'd you enjoy this episode? Which was your favorite of the three?
I like the One Eye too, just because there's a lot of different directions you can go with the creation of that mythos.
Sure.
Like, is it a singular entity? Is it there's only one eye? Like, there can only be one, or is there multiple entities that are one eye, and we're just everyone that we see is like, oh, it's the one eye, where it's like maybe it's just a species of Tyranids that we're just identifying as a single individual.
Yeah. They were all made because the fortress world they were invading, it was all built on right-hand corners to go get through the maze of the fortress. So you don't need that left eye. So the hive mind just took it away, save some resources, keep them going right.
I just thought of something funny. The hive mind sitting there, and they keep hearing Old One Eye, and one of them just goes, "Hey, do we have a one-eyed Carnifex?" Yeah. No, we don't. All right, well, let's get one and put them down there. I think they're afraid of those.
They don't like those ones.
Well, I was liking the concept that it's like brain damage, why it's got like its independence and stuff like that. So that got me thinking, like, is the hive mind intentionally mating like these creatures before it sends down, like, oh, we need a one-eye down on this planet. All right, well, let's butcher it a little bit so that way we can send it down there. And that's why we keep seeing it all over the place, is because the hive mind's actually like, oh, we're just going to do a little surgery and make a couple adjustments and send it down.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd also be funny if they have someone either psychically project or put Imperial stuff on, and they just smack its face off so that it's intentionally angry at the Imperium all the time.
That's like traumatizing it to a point where it's like psycho trauma on it.
Yeah.
The Primorc was pretty cool. Because that again, it's like, is it there's a single prime orc or is it multiple prime orcs? Like I like it when there's room for interpretation. Like, is this an individual creature that we're seeing that keeps on coming around over and over again? Or is there a multitude of these creatures and we're just saying that all these multitude of creatures are this one individual creature? And like, especially with the prime orc, like I could see that being some kind of like evolutionary trait of the orcs themselves. So I don't think it would be a singular entity. I just think it's a very rare phenomenon for it to occur.
Do you think that it is like an orc who becomes a prime orc, or is it like you got grots, you got snots, you got orcs, and you got prime orcs? You know, it's like completely its own category, or is it like orc to prime orc? You know,
If I had to go one way or the other, I would say it's prime orcs would be separate from normal orcs, and then you would have to have the right scenario. And it's very rare for that scenario to happen, because arguably if like humanity was more advanced in 40k, more organized and more dangerous, like the orcs would rise to the occasion to deal with that threat. So the whole thing with orcs is they're built on the environment that they're in. So if that environment doesn't dictate that they need to be smart and tall and be able to, you know, take on titans and stuff like that, then it's not going to give rise to anything like that because there's no need for it.
yeah, exactly.
So if there was a need for prime orcs, then yeah, there'd be like tons of them. But maybe you need one every once in a blue moon. Okay, well, then that's going to trigger it every once in a blue moon.
Yeah, like it'd be cool. The perfect time for them to bring back a prime orc could have been during like the what is that orc and Tyranid war called that's so massive? The Octarius War.
Octarius War.
Yeah, like that would have been a good time to bring back a prime orc potentially, where it's like there is that like bigger battlefield or bigger kind of thing happening.
And there could be a prime orc there already for all we know, but because humanity is so limited in that region of space, it could go unknown for hundreds, if not thousands of years, because it's like, oh, the Tyranids and the orcs are duking it out. Not our problem. And all of a sudden a prime orc all of a sudden ends up repelling the Tyranids, and it's like, oh, now it is our problem. And we arguably created the problem in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, they should just virus bomb glass every planet that isn't Terra. Probably the only
way
move
to be sure.
It's the only way to be sure at this point.
Arguably, yes.
Oh, go ahead, Purge.
I was gonna say, arguably, yes, purge everything. I'm perfectly down with the purging of things.
What do we, as Terrans, even need the rest of the galaxy for? Honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Terran first, and only.
Yeah. Like, we went how many thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years without needing other planets? Let's just nuke everything and go back to one planet.
Yeah, I got all the enemies I can possibly desire on this planet. I don't need to go into the galaxy to find them, you know? We can have our own war right here, right now.
I mean, we've got cockroaches, which are Tyranids. We've got mold, which are the orcs. We have, I don't know, river monsters. We'll call those the Tau. I don't think we have anything good for the Eldar, though. I don't know what to call those.
Cosplayers.
Hey now. You leave my wife out of this.
I mean, I didn't go there. I guess favorite one at the end of the day is the Emperor.
Yeah, that's a good line.
True.
Because
biggest cryptid of them all.
Because, like, has anyone really been in the Golden Throne to confirm that he's actually sitting there? Like, we get reports of it, but how do we know they're not just lying for propaganda, saying, yeah, I saw him sitting there?
They're just killing 1,000 people for no reason.
No,
you guys support the propaganda. Like, you just gotta keep the propaganda. Hey, yeah, there's a guy in that room. Yeah, we gotta kill 1,000 people. Now it's 10,000. Now it's 100,000. Now it's 1,000,000 people. that we have to kill to keep this propaganda going. But yeah, believe the propaganda.
The Golden Throne is just a pile of bodies. There's no throne. There's no emperor. They're just ushering cattle in and killing them.
Yeah, that's how they control the population. And then that's how you get all your corpse charts. Like, yeah, it's for the emperor. We're just really hungry and we need the food resources.
That's what's feeding terror this whole time. It's 1,000 corpses every day. They spread that out to everyone. Well, you gotta cut it a little bit with baking soda to kind of really expand that corpse starch. But
yeah, that's what I'm going with. Is because the whole thing is we've been trying to disprove all these cryptids. So yeah, there's no golden throne. It's just all for the corpse charge and propaganda.
I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Purge.
Yes, thank you for sharing the real truth, not just the
yeah. That's what I'm here for, I guess. You all have a wonderful night.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Well, fun episode. I guess the closing thoughts is keep your eyes open because, man, it's a weird world out there, and the truth is often stranger than fiction. So keep your eyes peeled and let me know what you guys see out there. Hey, you want to come listen to Lorehammer Listen to Lore podcast? It's a separate podcast. It's on its own feed. I read homebrew lore. Maybe you have a cryptid that you want me to read out. You can email it in and I'll read it out on Lorehammer Listen to Lore.
And if you want to hear me and my other co-host talk about the Foot from Warhammer Fantasy, then come on over to the Grimlore podcast where we talk about Warhammer Fantasy and the orcs and the Foot.
The Great Green Foot.
And if you're craving my sense of humor, more cryptids, conspiracies, mysteries, come over to my channel on YouTube at Hydra Thoughts, where I post video every other week. We've got a new one coming out Monday. So come in, comment how I should rage bait Mark next time he has me over here.
It doesn't take much. It's an easy thing to do. Well, we'll see you all on the next episode of Lorehammer. Adios.
See ya.